And yeah, I think Derek deserves to fight someone higher ranked than he is, and Kelvin's right there. I'm not sure if they signed the fight yet. I hope they don't, because I think that'd be a good fight between Derek and Kelvin. And for Ian, I think it's time for him to take a step back in competition. Dude's was only 2-0 before last night, before the fight, and he was already ranked in the top 15. It was pretty quick, but I think a nice fight, would be. I think a nice fight for Ian would be Brad Tavares. I think that's both a tough test and a winnable fight for him. So it wouldn't be fitting him to the Wolves, but it'd be, hey, I'm not gonna be handing out wins to you. But that's what I thought about that one. The next fight was Benitez and Yusuf. Super. I'll just call him Super. That fight did not go as I planned it would. I thought Benitez was gonna outbox Super throughout the fight, and then win a late third round TKO stoppage. And that did not go. That's not what happened. It was going pretty good for Benitez. He dropped Super early and was landing pretty good boxing combinations. He was landing some pretty good punches, but Super countered with a perfect right hook and floored Benitez. I did not see that coming. It was a good performance by both. Even though Benitez got caught, I still thought he looked good for it. I think it's the sky's the limit for Superman. The guy is quick, powerful, very athletic, and he gets better every fight. Get a good coach behind him, which I think he does. I'm not sure who his coach is really, but he has to be good, and he's just gonna get better. Yeah, I was pretty disappointed. I mean, I can't say I don't like Super. I was just hoping my pick was gonna go correct. Who I think these two should fight next? I think Super. I think one fight for Super that would be really interesting is what's a really good one for him? I wasn't ready for this video, obviously. I guess I could, he's 3-0 right now in the UFC. You could put him in the top 15 maybe. That's not that bad of a decision. I guess I'd, what? I'd put him up against what's his name? The guy Ryan Hall just beat. Or actually, Ryan Hall would be a nice one. Yeah. Yeah, that's the fight I'd make. Ryan Hall versus Yusuf. That'd be interesting. It'd be nice to see how Yusuf does against a high-level grappler. I don't think he'd have to be worried about being taken down. I don't think Ryan has best takedowns, but he has to watch out for that pulling guard shit. And for Benitez, that the hometown fighter from the last card. I can't remember his name either. Damn it. Yeah. I think that'd be a good fight. If whoever watches this, whoever was the hometown fighter for the last card, the Shevchenko fight card, that dude, I'd put Benitez against him. That'd be a good fight. I think Benitez needs to go down, take a little bit step back in competition. If they ran it back, I think I'd still go for Benitez. I think it was a winnable fight for him, but you can't take anything away from Super. But the next fight was the fight everyone was waiting for, especially the ladies. Yoel Romero versus Paulo Costa. This fight, it went to the winner. I was right about the winner, but the fight didn't go exactly how I planned. You know, I had Paulo winning by second round TKO, but Paulo won by decision. There's lots of controversy around this fight. A lot of people thought Yoel won. I didn't think Yoel won. I thought Paulo won round 1 and 2. And then, I thought Paulo won round 1 and 2, and Yoel won round 3. I honestly don't know how people thought Yoel won 2 rounds, you know. He clearly only won 1. I thought Paulo pushed the pace and landed better shots than Yoel in the first 2 rounds. I thought he did more damage in the first 2 rounds. You know, he had Yoel up against the cage lots of the time, landing combinations. You know, Yoel, the only thing he really did was showboat. I think that was showboating. I think he was trying to do the drunken fist, if you ask me. But yeah, I think Paulo clearly won the first 2 rounds. Going into the 3rd round, actually, I had my buddy sit next to me, and I was telling him, because he was a Yoel fan, I was like, yo, Yoel needs to either finish Costa in this round to get the win, or at least get a 10-8 round to make it a draw. You know, he's losing this fight going into the 3rd. That's what I was saying, and he agreed with me. But I don't know, there's a lot of people out there. I think they're just super Yoel fanboys or something. Even lots of the MMA community, like the actual fighters. I don't know how they seen Yoel winning that fight. I mean, he basically just showboated the first 2 rounds. You know, you can't win a fight by showboating. Paulo fucking pushed the pace. You know, outlanded him for the first 2. I don't know. For who I think those 2 should fight next. I think Paulo has done enough to take on the winner of Whitaker and Adesanya. I think that'll be one hell of a fight. Both those 2 were kind of a little bit of Robert's kind of a counter striker. Adesanya's a straight up counter striker. So it'll be interesting to see how that fight goes. Paulo already fought a counter striker in Uriah Hall. Uriah Hall is obviously not Israel, but you know, everyone Israel has fought isn't Paulo either. You know, that's the fight I'd make for Paulo, and that'd be a fun fight to watch. I'd buy that card. For Yoel, I think a rematch with Jakar would be an alright call. There's lots of controversy about that fight. A lot of people thought Jakar won. So I don't think Yoel's this super soldier everyone keeps talking about. You know, he's obviously very beatable. He's a little shady once in a while too, you know. So just give him a step back in competition, you know. Have him prove himself, you know. And for next fight, it was Nate Diaz versus Anthony Showtime Pettis. This fight went exactly how I thought it was gonna. I called it Nate winning by unanimous decision, and that's exactly what happened. And how I said it was gonna happen was exactly how it happened. I said Nate was gonna come out, push the pace, was gonna outbox Anthony, you know. I thought he was gonna get Anthony tired, overwhelm him with volume and pressure and pace and aggression, and that's what happened. I said it was kind of a kryptonite fight, you know. Both of them had each other's kryptonite. Anthony kind of folds under pressure and volume. At the same time, you know, Nate's weakness is kicks. But in order to kick, you know, you gotta be, your opponent has to be back, you know. I'm not even sure if it's possible to kick while moving backwards. And there's no doubt in my mind that Nate was going to make Anthony move backwards, you know. But I think that's what I said it was going to come down to, and that's what it came down to. Nate was able to push Anthony back, make Anthony uncomfortable to where it wouldn't be possible to throw those kicks. He was able to throw kicks, but, you know, the fact that the volume, Nate was throwing the volume, the pressure, and the pace, made it to where those kicks didn't land, you know. He landed a couple good ones, but that's it. He had Anthony up against the cage. He was working his dirty boxing, getting Nate really tired. He even used wrestling. He out-wrestled Anthony Pettis, you know. I think that says how bad of a wrestler Anthony is, to be out-wrestled by Nate Diaz. Nate was pretty close to finishing the fight twice, you know. He got a pretty good position with the rear naked choke, and Anthony looked really hurt with those knees, so I'm happy with that one. I'm not a huge Nate fan, but I prefer Nate over Anthony. So yeah, I was pretty happy. I was 100% correct with that fight. Who I think they should fight next? I think we already know who they should fight next. You know, he kind of called someone out, and that person said Nate Diaz is one of the only people he'll fight besides for the belt. And I think that's the only way to go from here for those two. You know, Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal for the baddest motherfucker belt. I'd pay for that one too. That's a headliner right there. You know, just the call out got me excited about that. That's all it took. Nate's one bad motherfucker, and so is Jorge. For Anthony, I think a rematch with Rafael dos Anjos wouldn't be too bad of a go, you know. Anthony, I don't know. I think he's just always going to have bad wrestling, you know. Bad wrestling defense and bad wrestling offense. And he always has that one shot, though, that kick. He has some wicked kicks, so he always has a chance to beat anybody, especially with his grappling. But he needs to work on his wrestling. He needs to do something about that. I think RDA would be a good test for that. RDA is a good wrestler. He's a very solid wrestler, very solid grappler. So I think Anthony needs to fight a wrestler that isn't too great at wrestling, but is good. You know, I want to see him focus on his wrestling and fight a fighter that's gonna push him in that area. You know, but isn't, you know, no Habib. You know, obviously. So yeah, that's who I think those two should fight next. And then the next fight was the main event. Daniel DC Cormier versus Stipe Miocic. This fight the winner was who I said it was going to be, but he didn't win exactly the way I said he was going to win. I had Stipe winning by decision. I said Stipe was going to, basically, DC was going to do really good in the first couple rounds. But I said Stipe was going to get DC tired. And outscore him to a decision. And I think it would have went that way too. A lot of people think DC won that third round. I honestly gave it to Stipe. Watching it, you know, I might be wrong. I'll go rewatch it. But I gave Stipe that third round. And that fourth round, you know, that was all Stipe. And if DC would have survived that somehow, that would have been a 10-8 round for Stipe. And that fifth round fifth round would have been terrible for DC to possibly. If DC found a way to survive that fifth round, it would have been a 10-8 round again. So either way, Stipe would have won the decision if he wouldn't have stopped somehow. If DC would have somehow survived the decision. But yeah, Stipe got DC tired and was able to finish him in the fourth. So I was right about who won, who was gonna win, but I didn't predict Stipe stopping DC. I think they both look good. DC, he's chubby. He's a little chubby, It's really hard to imagine someone in DC's physical shape to be able to go a full 25 minutes at that pace without getting tired, DC has good cardio, but he doesn't have Stipe cardio, and that's exactly what I thought was going to be the factor, was Stipe's cardio. DC's boxing looked pretty good. It looked a little weird, he liked reaching out and grabbing the hands, and once you grab the hands, he would throw punches, because if you grab the hands, there's nothing there for your opponent to block, your punches with. So I thought that was interesting, but I also thought it was weird that he kept his hands down a lot. He wasn't guarding himself. I'm not sure if he just didn't think Stipe had the power to knock him out, But he was winning the first couple rounds, So I can't say, he came in doing the wrong thing. He said he didn't follow the game plan, but, the plan he was following was winning the fight at first, until Stipe started coming back. And I honestly think DC was getting tired, For those two, the fight I want to see next for Stipe isn't John Jones or DC rematch. I want to see a Francis Ngannou rematch. I think Francis has done enough for a title shot. I think his last 3 fights, knockouts, first round knockouts. I don't think John Jones should be able to just jump in front of Francis for how good Francis looked. I would love to see Jones and Stipe go at it, but I'd rather see Francis right now. I think that's a good fight. People are saying Francis is a different fighter. We'll see, You can't get that much, your conditioning can't get that much better in the short amount of time it's been since their last fight, And no matter how athletic and gifted Francis is, where it's been a year since he last fought, you can't get that much better at wrestling to make a big difference, But Francis always has that chance with the striking, I think that's the compelling part. The most interesting part is, will Francis land that shot? Because he's landed 3 times in a row now against really good fighters. If you can knock out Cain Velasquez and Curtis Blades, who are 2 really good wrestlers, then I honestly think you can knock out Stipe. I'm not saying that would happen, but I think he has a shot at knocking him out. And for DC, it all depends on DC. If DC is willing to go the extra mile to win the title back, I wouldn't mind him going up against Curtis Blades next. I think Curtis is scheduled to fight. If he gets past the winner of that fight, I think DC should go up against, but I think it'll be Curtis who wins that one. But yeah, it all depends on DC's mindset, He's in his 40s now. He's older. Does he really want to go through the path that's going to give him a title shot again? 2 wins? 2 good wins? That's probably what he's going to need to get a title shot again. But that's the only way I could see him fighting again, is if it's a title, and as if it's for a title, a title run. I don't think DC should fight just to fight, He doesn't need to. He's made a lot of money. He can make a lot of money without fighting, So I don't think he needs to fight just to do it, I think if he wants to fight, it should involve going back to the title. And if that's not in the picture, then I don't think he should be fighting at all. But yeah, that's my thought on that fight. It was a really good card. I enjoyed it. I was 4-1 on main events. I had 4 right, 1 wrong. I had a good time. I can't wait for the next one. I'm buying the next one. I'm going to be giving the predictions early this time. When I wait to give out predictions for fights, it takes a while. And I usually end up not doing it because I am getting busy a couple days before fight. So I'm doing a video and sending out, uploading the videos early for UFC 242. I'm pretty excited about this one. It's be fun. But yeah, that's probably gonna be my next video. There's a couple other things I want to cover. But I enjoyed the fights. They were fun. I had a great time. The prelims were even fun to watch. I thought it was goofy. I thought it was pretty cool that someone finally called out Gregor Gillespie. I'm all hot on Gregor right now. He's my favorite up-and-comer. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for him to get a fight, for a fight announcement. Everyone's scared of that guy. No one wants to sign a contract, so obviously Klaus doesn't deserve to fight him, and he'd get mopped by Gregor, but everyone's scared of him, so might as well hook him up, get him a fight, But yep, that's my thoughts and how my predictions went for UFC 241 and who I think they should fight next. I'll see you guys next time on maybe my predictions for UFC 242. I might do a video before that. We'll see. But until next time.